from the National University of Rwanda. He has an in-depth knowledge and understanding of regional economic communities and has participated fully in negotiations of international, continental, and regional agreements. Mr. John Bosco Kalisa has experience in private sector development and competitiveness, having previously served as the country director of South Sudan for Trademark East Africa. He has also worked with the Rwanda Private Sector Federation and Rwanda Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning. He has global connections with leading international development partners such as USAID, Korea International Cooperation Agency, Japan International Cooperation Agency JICA, and the African Bank, as well as the African Development Bank, as well as the World Bank. As the East African Business Council Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Kalisa steers the high-level policy advocacy at the East African Community, heads of state and ministerial level to push forward the East African Business Council's vision and mission of a borderless East Africa for increased business and investment. You are therefore very welcome to speak to us, Mr. John Bosco Kalisa. Please join me in welcoming him to the podium.
Very good morning. Habari za asubuhi. Mwasuze mutiana. Bonjour. Allow me first of all thank and appreciate this opportunity accorded to me to speak on this graduation day. But above all, allow me to take this golden opportunity and thank the Chancellor of Cavendish University, the former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Also want to thank and appreciate Honorable Minister for Science, Innovation and Technology, the guest of honor, the Vice Chancellor Cavendish University, my brother John Mugisha, the Vice Chancellors from different academic institutions present, Excellencies, Ambassadors present, representing your respective governments, honorable members of parliament present from Uganda, Kenya, and other ESA partner states. My appreciation also goes to the parents of the students who have graduated today. And also, let me take this opportunity on behalf of East African Business Council, the board, the management, to convey our deep appreciation and the congratulations for you. I'm excited to deliver this commencement speech. Excited in the sense that when I was invited by my brother, Professor Mugisha will sit together on the board of Inter-University Council of East Africa. And really, I'm the one who nominated, who said, He has all the requisite capacity and capability to add a voice or to make a difference in what we aspire as a region, as a continent, in terms of Africa economic transformation. I'm speaking this morning. I'll first share with you some good news. Good news in the sense that East Africa is the only region in the continent that survived the effect, devastating effect of COVID-19. Even with the current challenges emanating from Russia-Ukraine conflict and other challenges related to climate change, East Africa region is the fastest growing region in the continent. And allow me, Your Excellency, and other dignitaries, we give a big hand of appreciation and a clap to our heads of state. I always say that development or economic transformation of Africa lies in the hands of good leadership. Your Excellency Chancellor, you've demonstrated that. Yesterday I had an opportunity to have a lunch with you. Leaders are very critical in terms of driving economic transformation we want. They play a pivotal role in terms of shaping the agenda of the Africa we want. Africa that is free from poverty, that is free from ignorance. Africa that the private sector is that at the forefront of economic prosperity or shared prosperity. That is the aspiration of the African citizen. We don't want always to be associated as a continent that is engulfed in the poverty. We want to see a shared prosperity. And that's what Cavendish University stands for. I was excited that one of your attributes, generally I asked my brother, Vice Chancellor, what is your unique proposition as a university? And even in my organization, what do we have as a unique attribution? There are many organizations. But the unique attribution of Cavendish is that student-centric aspiration, the relationship between the student and the teacher. And now I want to add another one. The Cavendish University should show that centric between the university and the industry and the labor market. I wanted to share with you an example, and the moderator highlighted, I had an opportunity to be exposed to East Asian countries. One of the universities, what they do, it's not about how many students are graduating, but it's how many students are getting a job. And this should be your performance benchmark. You make a monitoring system that currently I'm informed that you have 711 students graduating today. So next year I want to see 80% of those students from Cavendish University are already in the labor market, are employed, not in the informal sector, but in the formal sector, because you are providing the right skills that are required by the private sector. And that is the challenge I'm putting forward to my brother, that next year, out of 701, 80%. Currently, if I give you the statistics, Uganda, every year, you graduate around 40,000 students in all your universities, but only 20% are absorbed by the labor market. What about 80%? 80% end up in a informal sector. So we need to change that paradigm. We need to change that paradigm, and I'm happy I'm here to speak. We need to change that paradigm and grow that number to 60% or to 80%. It is possible once we link the academia to the industry. Once we link academia to the industry. And I think that is the paradigm shift we want as a region, as a continent. And I'm happy our leadership across the region is providing enabling environment. I was this morning speaking to our guest of honor. I said, I was looking at the current report by Business Inside Africa. They ranked 10 countries in Africa with a high level of entrepreneurship. And I said, Uganda is not among 10. The first one is South Africa, the second is Rwanda, the third is Nigeria, the fourth is Kenya. Where is Uganda? I asked the minister, what is happening? And I used to be excited that Uganda is driving entrepreneurship. What is expecting? I said there is a skills mismatch. While we are doing a lot in terms of output, but we need to move to another level of outcome, in measuring the quality of the student we put to the market. We need to do that. So when I looked at what does South Africa do, one of the tools that South Africa did is their education, their universities, University of Cape Town. I was happy I was at the University of Wits, I was in the University of Pretoria. They always speak to the industries. They speak to the private sector. Generally, they give you 1 year before you graduate. You are attached to a certain sector so that your skills resonates well with what the market requires. Your Excellency, I think having the right skills within our organization is very critical for our companies, and we need to do that. So I realize that, again, Cavendish, you are doing very well in a number of disciplines, the law, you are doing well in agriculture, but there are certain skills that now are required. And I was very happy when I spoke to the executive director that everyone, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're an economist, you need to have at least basic skills, basic Excel skills. You're able to do presentation. There are those basic skills that are critical for you to get employment. Not those skills that you need to interpret the laws. Everyone can't interpret laws. The current world requires that we need to embrace technology in our agenda, in our development aspiration and agenda. I was looking at the numbers. The World Health Organization recently produced a report, and it projected that a shortfall of 15 million health workers, mostly in low and middle income countries, are needed. 15 million health workers are required. The same, I was talking to my colleagues in Canada and the US. They said we need professionals, legal professionals. We need professionals in accountancy. That's the world where the world is moving. But have we prepared our students really to be globally competitive? Do they have the right skills? I always appreciate one of my professors, Joseph Stiglitz. He said that knowledge is a public good. When you want to commercialize it, it will be very expensive. So you will not buy a degree, you will not buy a degree. You have to have that knowledge, intrinsic knowledge, embedded in you. You can be able to explain it and articulate it. So that is very critical. The International Labour Organization, ILO, estimated that as part of changing demography, and we are happy that we have a young population. Generally, 77% of our population in the ESC, they fall between the age of 35 years. So we need to leap that demographic dividend. We need to be exciting. While other countries like Japan, they are now struggling with aging population. And when there is an aging population, now they are looking at what do we call global care economy. They need people to take care of the aging population. So have we prepared our students around that global care economy? And ILO estimates that we need 300 million new laws related to child care and elder care in the global care economy by 2035. Then, according to the International Road Transportation Union, the world needs 2.6 million truck drivers, those people in logistics and transport. Generally, under the CFTA, under the Continental Free Trade Area, we've deliberately crafted 10 sectors that will drive the economic we want. Transport and logistics has been highlighted as one of the sectors. But do you have those skills? Do our university really prepare the economists or transport specialists in that sector, where we need 2.6 million truck drivers or logistics players? So I think it is important. It is important that really Cavendish University and other high-level institutions, we speak to the private sector. We nurture and establish a very strong collaboration and partnership. That is the way forward that we can be able to create an environment that will nurture and stimulate entrepreneurship. We need to work together. Then I was looking at as I mentioned, what are those preconditions for entrepreneurship to thrive? One is innovation. Two is technology. Three is our government policy in terms of nurturing, incubating innovation. Look at the US. I was looking at the same statistics. It's really a paradox. Yesterday when I was coming from the airport, California state, its GDP is higher than all the African countries combined. In that article, it indicated it is 7.5 times the GDP of Nigeria. And in Nigeria, you know, it's the biggest country with the highest GDP in Africa. But just California. So I asked, what miracle did the California or US do? One was human capital investment. They aligned their skills, their technology with the requirement of the future of the industry. So with that, really, I want to commend the effort of Cavendish University and other institutions for the work you are doing. It is now that you need to do that. It's not tomorrow. It's now that we need to work together. With that, I want to thank you and again congratulate those who have graduated today. And I wish you a very fruitful deliberation, and I wish you a very good day. God bless you all. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kalisa. He deserves another round of applause. We shall continue reflecting on his lecture throughout the day. So for now, allow me to invite the Vice Chancellor, Professor John Mugisha, to make his remarks. But please continue reflecting on the message of the commencement speaker, and we shall continue with time.
Thank you very much. The guest of honor, the Honorable Dr. Monica Musenero, Minister of Science, Technology, and Innovations, our Chancellor, Your Excellency, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, our commencement speaker, members of Parliament, heads of diplomatic corps, all our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am not going to make my speech now. I am just going to take a moment to invite our guest of honor, and I want to communicate that our guest of honor will shortly be leaving for another assignment, but in her busy schedule, she was able to get the time still to come here for us, and I think even before I invite her, we should give her a hand clap, a round of applause. Madam Guest of Honor, we know you have been on a long journey in Eastern Europe, and you still were able to make it. I want to mention that our guest of honor today is Honorable Dr. Monica Musenero, who has diverse training She's a scientist. She's a public health practitioner. She's an academic and has previously worked with Makerere University. She has worked also with the Ministry of Health as an assistant commissioner in charge of epidemiology and surveillance, and was also working at some point as a principal program officer with Africa Field Epidemiology Network. She has studied from a number of world-class universities. Makerere University. She did her graduate studies at Cornell University in the USA, where she obtained a Master of Science majoring in microbiology with immunology and molecular biology, especially research on vaccine development. And for those of you in this region, you know her efforts at developing a vaccine here. She has a very long CV, and I think she would even be unhappy with me if I read all of it because she's looking at the time. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Monica Musenero to speak to us. After her speech, she will do one other thing. She will represent Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga, who is the first Deputy Prime Minister who always gives an award. She has that award, and so she will give award, make that award, and perform her duty, and then she will leave us. Thank you very much, Dr. Musenero.
The Chancellor, His Excellency Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Cabinet Ministers and Members of Parliament present, our commencement speaker who has given us wonderful words of wisdom, Your Excellencies, ambassadors and members of the Diplomatic Corps, Chairman, University Council, Professor Olubai, and members of the University Council present, Chairperson, University Advisory Council, Lady Justice Lillian Tibantemwa, and members of the University Advisory Council, the Vice Chancellor of Cavendish University, Uganda, Professor John Mugisha, and all the members of staff, heads of government departments, the visiting vice chancellors, the rectors, directors, and principals of all other institutions in Uganda, distinguished guests, parents and sponsors, graduates of Cavendish University, Uganda, 2023 class. Are you there? Ladies and gentlemen, I take it as a great, great honor to be invited today to speak and give some words of remarks on behalf of the government of Uganda. I tend to have this wave of inspiration whenever I show up at a graduation. So before I read my written speech, I would like to have a few remarks. And these are some words to introduce myself to you so that I can be able to give you the written speech. One day like this, in January 1993, I sat in a congregation like many of these graduates are, having finished my undergraduate in 1992. Amazingly, at my graduation, there was one distinguished dignitary from Nigeria called Chief Abiola, who was being awarded a honorary degree. And today, I'm in the presence of another distinguished Nigerian, none other than His Excellency, the former president. I think he's actually the Nigerian president I know much about. Your Excellency, you're very, very welcome to Uganda. During your tenure, I spent quite a lot of time in Nigeria, supporting the setup of epidemic response systems there and the setup of the public health school. And I must say, I enjoyed being in Nigeria then, and I always said Nigeria inspired me, and the only book I've ever written and published was written when I was visiting Nigeria. So you're very, very welcome to this land, which I know now is your second home. To the graduates, I spent many years like you, 7 plus 4 plus 2 plus 5, because I had a 5-year program. And today I'm honored to have one of my professors here, Professor Nasinyama. So if I tell some lies about my academic life, he will be there as a witness. But I don't usually tell lies. I'm referring to this because these off-cuff remarks, I've titled it, "Why Should Your Graduation Matter?" Why should it matter that you're graduating? Because many times we just put on some flowers, take some pictures, put on the gowns, come here, but what does it matter that you're graduating? So as I graduated that day, I had been an excellent student through those years, excellent student. Even courses they said were difficult, for me, it was just bread and butter. And as I finished school, what was to my credit was that I was extremely academically talented. And so when I finished, I was lucky. I was immediately offered a job as a lecturer at the university, rather teaching assistant. However, after exiting the gates of academia and entering the work of life, before that, I lived for my grades. You know, I wanted to get this. We didn't have the things of GPA then. We had credits and distinctions, and I was like, oh, okay. Now come, I graduate, and there's no more marks, no more score, no more position of class. I joined the work life, and it became pretty routine. After my first year of teaching was very exciting, you know, because after sitting on the other side, I could sit on this side of the bench of academia. And I went there very happy. But after 10 years of doing that, I became a bit depressed because I looked back and I was like, okay, I've had a job, I've worked, I've had a second degree, and I'm would be considered successful. But what did my graduation really matter? I was earning a salary, which my colleagues at that time called a non-living wage at Makula University. People who hadn't gone to school were earning more money than me. So it is not, I didn't graduate to earn more money. I complained about conditions like everybody. Those who went to school and those who didn't go to school. I spent all the time, complaining about government not employing us. Then we had this severe, crippling power load shedding. I complained about power load shedding. I complained about potholes. I complained about everything. Did it matter that I graduated? Did it make a difference in my life? I got lost in the day-to-day struggles of life. And I began to question, why did I graduate and how can it make a difference? And I would like to share 4 quick things. These are specifically for the graduates. There will be more in my red speech. I decided on 4 things. 1, to define a purpose for my life. Why was I here? What was I doing? What did my degree in veterinary medicine matter? Or the master's, what did it matter? That excellent graduation, if it's not enclosed in a purpose, excellent graduates here will end up just the same like everybody else. The second thing is I decided to define a very clear vision for my life. What did I want to accomplish? Because after 10 years, remember, your life, you are getting to what they call the hill and you're getting over the hill. And if you joke, days like this come and go and years come and go. So I decided to define a vision. Clear vision. What do I want to accomplish in life? The purpose is, why was I here? What am I going to accomplish? The third thing is I defined principles to live by. I live my life by principle. And it has made a big difference. Some of these principles were, I'll work hard whether everybody around me is lazy. I will live a life of integrity whether everybody around me is corrupt. I will live a life of love when I'm surrounded by hatred. I will live a life of service. And I will live a life of excellence. For those of you who have been here, when you hear anything in the media about Msenero, if it doesn't align with this, it is false. If it doesn't talk about hard work, if it does not refer to integrity, actually brutal integrity, because I don't even allow myself to deceive myself. A life of love, give love to everybody. A life of service, and be excellent at whatever I do. Those principles have led me to where I am now and where I have been. The 4th thing I decided is to develop a vessel, something that I'll be so good at that I will use that to serve other people. And that has been building up. And I used to say it was public health. Now I say it is science. Public health was just a component. And that has helped me to serve people all over the world. So I want to challenge you today that as you graduate, don't get lost in the grind of life. Define a purpose, so that you don't get lost in all the grumblings on social media. To many people on social media, every day the sun is falling down. Every day the world is coming to an end. Everything that happens is a disaster. But as His Excellency, good luck here, having been at the top of a country, can tell you, no, the sun is not falling. It is you who is thinking, because after a long time, the country will be here. So the second aspect of me, I want to introduce myself to you, is what do I do as Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation? I lead a sector which has a combination of science. Now, science is knowledge. If you are an excellent lawyer, have your information that it distinguishes from what everybody else is doing, you're a scientist. I thought the lawyers would clap. Because you've been saying the scientist, I'm defining for you the scientist. Technology, science is knowledge. Technology, we use the knowledge to create tools that we can apply. And innovation is the combination of the knowledge and the tools to solve problems of life. So that is what I do. My job as the Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation is to link academia to the economy. I bridge academia and the economy because developed nations and the underdeveloped nations are differentiated by how well they have linked the academia to the economy via science, technology, and innovation. I hope the third thing in my definition of whom Senero is, and this is a very special invitation to all of you, is I want to invite you to be thinkers. Africa has spent the last 200 years delegating thinking to others. As people who are graduating, you need to be thinkers. Thinkers, people who think new things. It's okay, there are standards in the world, but especially for those of you in science, I see Faculty of Science and Technology. I want to tell you that every principle you have learned should be a footstool. The science of tomorrow is in your head and has to be thought and generated. So I challenge Africans to think. So I stand here today as your guest of honor to address this remarkable gathering. Talented young individuals. I must have heard a lot about Cavendish. This is my first time to interact with you, but the reputation goes before you. And I've heard a lot about this university. So before going deep in the speech, I wish to acknowledge the aspirations and dreams that you, the graduating class, hold dearly. Your education has equipped you with a strong foundation, both academically and personally, building your character, building your resilience, building you to thrive in Africa. I know many of you are graduating because you want to migrate. May I invite you to stay? May I invite you to stay? It is our responsibility to develop Uganda. It's our responsibility to develop Africa. And the resources to do that are being confirmed to you at this graduation. One of the key focuses of this government is to foster a robust, inclusive economy that provides ample employment opportunities for the skilled graduates. In Uganda, we are committed to creating an environment that encourages investment, innovation, and entrepreneurship. We had a decent discussion today with our speaker and about the definition of entrepreneurship. I will leave him to discuss with you over lunch what we discussed. But we were trying to understand whether Ugandans are high at entrepreneurship or not. So we are investing a lot in infrastructure, technology, research and development and to ensure that we develop industries and economic growth. Therefore, developing industry is a priority for the government. However, I want you to know that there is no mystical person out there going to develop the industry. It is us who graduate. We are the people who should form that foundation for the rest. We shouldn't be moving from here. And one of the things, let me tell you, tell you a secret. Should I? If your father, your uncle, your member of parliament, or other influential friend comes to me to ask for a job for you, I don't give it. But if you come to me, I'm likely to find something for you. Because why should a graduate not be innovative enough, assertive enough? Because working with me is something very serious. But if you have to look for technical know-how, then that means you don't have the qualification. If indeed you qualify to ask for this job, then come and ask. You're a graduate, aren't you? Huh? Are you there? Or you are sleeping? Yeah, so by graduating, to graduate means to leave the baby stage and go into maturity. And now you are a person who is affirming something. So you are the ones going to start the industries. You are the ones who should be innovating. And at Science and Technology, we support ideas. We support innovations. It doesn't matter, by the way, how educated you are, which language you speak. It's the quality of your idea that attracts financial and other support from us. So do you have those quality ideas? So it's important for you to note that while the government dedicates to creating an enabling environment, the path to success lies in your hands, my dear children. Do not underestimate the power of your unique human qualities. In a world increasingly driven by technology, which I am calling you to embrace, the human touch becomes even more valuable. Cultivate the qualities that I was telling you. Become a person of empathy, compassion, ethical decision-making as you navigate the challenges and the opportunities in the world that you are graduating into. I can't overemphasize, there are two things I usually tell graduates that have steered me to remain standing even when storms come. The water goes down and I remain standing. Those are some of the principles I decided. One, I observed scientifically that even the very lazy people like hardworking people. Even those who are very lazy, they're always looking for hardworking people. And I also observed that the corrupt want people of integrity to work with. So if I have those two, I never lack a job. Never. Because they always say, Msenero, you see, she's, you can trust her. And they say she will do the job. So cultivate those values with you. Before I conclude, I would like to commend Cavendish University, Uganda, for consistently demonstrating commitment to excellence in academia and dedication to nurturing the brightest minds of our nation. The university's unwavering pursuit of academic and research excellency through deployment of technology has earned it a reputation as a center of knowledge and technology-enabled learning in our country and beyond. Your ability to continue teaching using an advanced learning platform during the period of shutdown, which I'm responsible for, but I'm not apologizing about it, because I saved your lives. I saved your lives and that of your parents. Your Excellency, I was the presidential advisor during COVID, so I was the one who always advised into shutdowns, and Ugandans didn't like me many times. But I don't apologize for it because you were alive enough to criticize me. If you had died, you wouldn't be there to say Msedero did this. So I really applaud the university for continuing the education during that time. One of the hallmarks of a progressive institution is its ability to adapt and embrace cutting-edge technologies and innovative methodologies. Accordingly, I don't expect these graduates to go out there as grumblers. There are opportunities all around you. The innovativeness that you have seen in the university, take that out into the world. Identify problems and turn them into opportunities. Innovation is the driving force behind progress, and I commend Cavendish University for fostering a culture of innovation among its students and faculty. Through initiatives that promote entrepreneurship and research, the university has empowered countless young minds to explore new frontiers, create groundbreaking solutions, and contribute meaningfully to the development of our society. I have been informed of students here who have developed useful computer applications to locate stolen properties, to monitor transport, to locate health facilities with specialist doctors on referral, and so on and so on. I hope that Cavendish is not one of those universities that have so many prototypes that never see the light of day in industry. At Science and Technology, we issue calls for innovations, and I invite you to look out for those advertisements. We put them on social media, we put them on our website, we put them in the mass media, in the newspapers, as we call out for innovations. And as I said, it's the quality of your idea, the quality of your innovation. It has nothing to whether you are my brother, my sister, whether I know you, black or white, tall or short. Of course, because I'm a bit short, I could be tempted to favor the short ones, but it doesn't happen. So, I would wish to reiterate that you, the graduating class, are the future leaders, entrepreneurs, and change makers of our society. And as you venture forth, remember that the government stands alongside you, ready to support, to empower, and enable your dreams to become a reality. Seize the opportunities that lie ahead, embrace challenges as stepping stones, and never stop striving for excellence. You have studied from a well-known, credible institution. I'm sure that you'll contribute positively to your families, communities, and nations. With those words, I would like to thank you so much for the opportunity to come and address young, promising graduates and their parents who have sacrificed to bring them to this level. I wish you success. I wish you excellence. I wish you integrity, hard work, and let's take our nation forward. I say this for God and my country. I would now like to request for the award, so I can perform that. I have been requested in writing by the right Honorable Rebecca Alitwalira Kadaga, the First Deputy Prime Minister, on her behalf, I think the lawyers, we are learning a difference, aren't we? Are we learning a difference? Yeah. So I can stand in on her behalf.
Best female law student, come forward.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, all protocol duly observed. The best female law student for this session is Miss Patujaite.
Another round of applause for the Honorable Minister. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. And now, the Vice Chancellor is going to award a plaque to the Honorable Minister for her distinguished service. We can still clap for the Honorable Minister as she resumes her seat, and we know that she's going to be leaving. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. She has assured us that even the corrupt
love those of integrity,
want people of integrity, and even the lazy want those who are hardworking. So students of Cavendish, you have a place. As the Honorable Minister is leaving, we have another student who would be giving us a piece at this point. The student, Chameleone, are you ready? Okay, the student is Joseph Mayanja.
Okay. As we have Dr. Chameleone in the entertainment industry coming, you can give him a better applause, please. Your Excellency, you would allow me to still recognize some eminent members and ministers, and among this is Right Honorable Stephen Kiinji Amoti, who is Prime Minister from Toro Kingdom. Our Prime Minister, thank you very much. I also want to let you know that we are live on Salt TV, and this has been courteously sponsored by Pastor Aloysius Bujjingo. Thank you so much. Of course, together with Madam Suzan Makula, congratulations. Our ministers, we also have Mr. Nkwasiwe Zinkuratire Henry, Member of Parliament, Ruhama County. Thank you. We also have Mr. Timothy Sejova, Commissioner, University Education and Training, Ministry of Education. In a special way, I want to recognize the presence of the Vice Chancellor, Bishop Stewart University, Professor Gashom Atukunda. You can just... I also want to recognize the presence of Deputy Vice Chancellor, African Rural University, and finally, Professor Lydia Emeron, Designated Deputy Vice Chancellor, Finance for Busoga Public University. I hope Dr. Chameleone is ready in the interest of time.
I would also like to recognize the presence of Honorable Dr. Elisa Rutahigwa. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Honorable Zinku, I'm not sure if you've been recognized as well. You're very welcome. Thank you very much.
As well as Justice Dr. Joseph Murangira, a retired judge, who is a friend of Cavendish University. We always appreciate you.
So, as the entertainers are getting themselves ready, first of all, Cavendish University Uganda is a student-centered university. So, we have an excellent partnership with Joseph Mayanja. I keep on wanting to call him Chameleone, but he's also known as Chameleone. He is graduating today with a Bachelor's of International Relations and Diplomacy. We are also, for those of you who have friends who are not here, relatives who have not been able to come, we are live on Salt FM, as Mr. Maganda has told us, but we are also live on Mr. Maganda, the second platform. They can follow us on
to social media, but also you can follow us on the international platform, Tanya Innovations Africa.
It's been a long, Thank you. Thank you. Stay. Sina balu balu baby. Naomba mena wewe. Ana balu balu darling. Sina balu balu baby. Nataka mena wewe. Chana balu balu darling. Toka tulipokutana sijawahi kufikiria tutachana, lakini tulipopendana ueleweki unaniumiza sana. Pendo gani nasikuoni baby, pendo gani upatikani dale, pendo gani uniamini baby, balu balu balu, pendo gani nasikuoni baby, pendo gani upatikani dale, pendo gani uniamini baby. Kuna Swahili sina balu balu baby, naomba mimi wewe tuwe chana balu balu darling. Sina balu balu baby, nataka mimi wewe tuwe chana balu balu darling. Uliyatafuta ulichapata, anayekupenda sana usiwaikata. Mimi nawe twende wote kote nata, tukae tule tujue bidilida wasikudaye ninao. Amua. Sina uwezo na sio mchezo, una mawazo. Balu 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 balu, sina balu balu baby. Hey, achana balu balu darling. Oh, sina balu balu baby. Oh, na chana balu balu darling. I congratulate everybody, my people. Congratulations. Moyo wako fungue, upendo wako eli uje. Nachoomba kama niko nawe, utaratibu pekee baby. Mimi na wewe. Oh, nijali. Kuna Kenya, kuna Tanzania, kuna Swahili. Where are my people from South Sudan? Congo. Hey, naomba mimi na wewe tuwe achana balu balu darling. Je t'aime, 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 je t'aime. One for the road, right? One for the road, right? I congratulate my fellow graduates. Thank you so much. Cavendish University, thank you so much. Here we are opening new doors to the future, right? Success begins at Cavendish. Congratulations, everybody. Congratulations. Ikibamba sana wapi duru wewe? Aha. Simbili mbili bam bam badam bam. We can dance a little. Hey, I got to go. I let you know. Hey, I got to go. Oh, nana. Unaniumiza sana, ninateseka ndani moyoni, mimi naumwa. Hey, nimevumilia sana, utaki change na umeshika badilisha. Nimevumilia sana, utaki change na umeshika kubadilisha. Oh, kidogo. Pete ya harusi ninayo kidole. Zima. Take it out. Acha kulia. Hey. Sing with me. Acha kulia. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Yeah. Go down. Yeah, no. Yeah, cha. Oh, no. Yeah. Acha kulia. I humbly request take a very beautiful picture, please, as a graduate from Cavendish University. Can I please request the opportunity, sirs, in all your... Thank you so much. You're coming?
Yes, that is Dr. Chameleone. We can add him another round of applause. Thank you very much, Chameleone, for that presentation. As we go to the next item, allow us also to recognize some of our sponsors, the pastors from Mutundwe Church. Wherever you are, you can wave to us. Pastors from Mutundwe Church and the members. Then Sandra Salin from Australia Consulate. We recognize your presence. And then Emmanuel Mawala from the Tanzanian Embassy. Thank you very much for coming. Once more, thank you very much, Dr. Jose Chameleone, for that wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our graduate, now soon to become our alumni, Joseph Chameleone, Joseph Mayanja, and Mr. Chancellor, sir, you must have noticed that the journalists were falling all over themselves. And this is because this student of ours is one of the leading musicians, not only in Uganda, but in East Africa. So we'll now go back to the program.